guys, and welcome to Faewood. So I'm continuing on with my costume for the Goblin Ball. If you haven't seen part 1 of the costume, then you can go back and check that out. In that video I did create the back part here, the robe they call it, which is the red material. And if you've seen that video, then you'll know it was a little bit of a train wreck because the fit of the pattern, it just didn't fit my body really at all. I think I chose maybe a size too small for the bust area, but then because of my measurements, the shoulders were too big and I didn't have enough room in the stomach area, and I tried to make some adjustments on everything, but I don't know how successful any of that was because I am still such a novice when it comes to sewing. I've made a handful of patterns in my life. I've definitely thrown myself in the deep end, but yeah, adjusting patterns to fit is something that I don't know much about, so and I did say in that video, like, my bust to stomach ratio is not ideal. My stomach might be a little bit bigger than my boobs right now, which is definitely not what I want, but you know, it's the reality of like post-pandemic and lockdown life. So I've had to make some adjustments on it, and I don't know, at the end of it I was like really looking at it just thinking I'm not sure how happy I am with any of it, but I left it at the point that it was at because the video was going to be too long, and also I just wasn't sure what I was going to do. So now I'm left with a strange kind of neckline on there. I do still need to make the skirt from the pattern here, so we need to move on with that as well. And I also have a ton of embellishment that I'm hoping to do on the costume as well. Now, if you guys have followed me for a while, you may remember when we had big storms here and I was offline for about 3 weeks, and I showed some footage of like how the storms decimated, you know, whole fields of trees and things like that. It was quite insane. And so yeah, we had no electricity for 3 weeks, and well, during that time I kept myself amused by cutting out CDs. Well, more specifically, cutting out DVDs. If you guys haven't seen it, I do have a video where I created a pair of wings out of CDs and DVDs and showed some techniques of like how to cut them. So I went through a number of different techniques when it came to cutting CDs. And when I was doing the DVDs, I would peel off this layer of the DVD and it made it easier to cut. So this, though, I thought, oh, these still have a really nice shine to them, like a holographic shine. And I thought it would be such a waste just to throw them out because I had this massive stack of them from that project. So I wanted to keep them and do something with them. So while all the electricity was out, I decided to turn them into sequins. So you can see the beautiful shine that comes off them when I flash it in certain directions. And I just think these are going to be really beautiful to use as sequins. And I did try a few different techniques to try and make it easier to cut these out, but nothing quite worked out for me, unfortunately. Like, I got a leather punch and tried hammering that into there. It made a dent, but it didn't really cut it out. Like, you can see the dent that I've made trying to do that. I did try also like a drill bit that you can use for cutting out plaster, and tried that on it, but it just didn't have enough, I don't think it was sharp enough. Basically, it's good for plaster, but I couldn't find any other drill bits that cut a circle. Like, they drill a hole in things, but none that actually cut a circle. They may exist, but I couldn't find any. What else did I try? And like craft punches and stuff like that to see if I could cut it out that way. None of those techniques worked, unfortunately, so it was down to basics and using scissors. But it worked out. They aren't perfect. Like, they do have slightly jagged edges, but really when they're on a costume or something like that, you're not going to be able to tell. And I made 4 different sizes so that, you know, if I want to use smaller ones somewhere or graduate them or something, then I can do that. So anyway, we've got those we can embellish with. I've got flowers as well. I've got some other bits and pieces and lace and so forth like that. So I've got a lot of different possibilities that I can use to decorate this costume even further and really go to town on it. So yeah, we better get started because we've still got a lot to do. What you doing, Loki? You gonna have a look around? I thought I'd let Loki have a look around the studio for the first time and see what happens. I may regret this. Having a good look around, Loki? What's all this stuff? Double trouble. You're just going to sit there looking at the door, are you, Loki? He doesn't want to go out because then he might not be able to come back in. Well, guys, I thought I'd check in. I've been sewing all day and I haven't filmed barely anything because it's really boring. There's just like tons and tons of fabric and lots of straight stitching and zigzag stitching to make sure things don't fray. So it doesn't look like anything except a long strip of fabric at this point in time. So upshot is it's not looking like much right now, and I think I'm going to stop for today. I'm having a bad symptom run again at the moment, so I'm feeling really exhausted and I just need to have a break, I think, and start again fresh tomorrow, and hopefully I'll have something that looks a little bit more like a skirt to show you, but I don't think it's going to look like a skirt until the end. It's just going to look like big long strips of fabric until the very end, I think, once it all starts to come together. Holy cow, guys, the amount of fabric that I've been sewing is insane. There's very few steps that I've been doing, but they've taken so long. So it's just been like hemming things, you know, sewing the bits of fabric together. There's just a lot of fabric in this skirt. And like, you know, doing the ruffle, oh my god, far out. That always takes so long. I've got the ruffle happening at the bottom of the skirt. Now the problem being is that this fabric, because it does fray, there's like fray happening, and I didn't think about that when I did it, and by that stage it was too late to backtrack. Like, I could have backtracked, but I was not going to backtrack because holy cow, it was already so much work. So I haven't worked out what I'm doing about that. I feel like this whole costume's just going to be strategic embellishment to cover all of my mistakes. I hope to God that works to a point where I'm happy to wear this outside. We shall see. So I want to say I'm nearly done with the skirt, but I don't know how long this is going to take to finish it off. Basically got to attach it to the waistband and then work out how much hem I need to like take up because I'm a short ass. So, and that takes a really long time just because, again, the sheer amount of fabric. So we'll see. I mean, it at least is all stitched together in one big monstrosity of a piece of fabric, and hopefully that piece of fabric looks like a skirt when I'm done. I don't know if you can hear that, guys, but I think Loki is at my door. In fact, all 3 cats were at my door before I had to sneak into the studio. Because if I let them in here, it's just going to be... like, I'm not going to get anything done. I'm just going to be watching cats everywhere and trying to make sure they're not in any mischief or getting themselves hurt or knocking things over, etc, etc. So, yeah. They're scratching at the door right now, and they'll probably be meowing and all of that, so... Anyway, it's been like a week since I filmed last with this project. There's been a lot of things on for us personally. We had a mini holiday and we're back now, and I didn't get a lot done, although I did do some sewing while I was away, and I also did a little bit of sewing over the last couple of days on the couch, which was interesting to say the least. The cats definitely were curious about what I was doing. Hey.
What are you doing? You sitting down there, are you? That's going to make it quite difficult to sew, Fizzy.
I had all 3 of them at one point on me, sniffing it. Like, they didn't chew anything, I don't think, but they were just like sniffing it. Fizzy kept wanting to sit on it, so that was difficult. And then at one point, because these little sequins reflect the light, there was all this light reflected around the room, and of course Binks started chasing the lights everywhere. So I was like, okay, I think we're at the time now where I need to go back into the studio and finish the rest of this off because it's getting a little bit crazy. But so I have got some stitching done, and I'll probably insert some footage of what it looks like because I'm gonna have to like lay it out to really show what it looks like. But I basically put an edge of flowers and the sequins made out of the DVD. So all of the sequins and flowers and stuff are sort of around the edge. I do want to, if I can find the time, bring some of the sequins sort of up the back of the robe, and I have started to do that a little bit, and I'm focusing on the center of the robe so that if I run out of time, I'm keeping it symmetrical and it'll look intentional. Can you hear that scratching? So my hope is that with these like DVD sequin things, that they'll reflect the light from my wings. I don't know for sure how that's going to work out yet because I haven't tried everything on together, but I will sort of try and do a test fit at some point. I also want to cut some slits into the back of the robe so that I can put the straps for the wings through instead of having to have them sit over. So I do need to take the wings down and work out how to do that. I've still got a bit of skirt to go as well. I did start that before we left and got to a point where I'm getting close to it being done. I think I need to put it on the waistband. I was going to put some lace on it as well, and then I need to take it up because I'm so short to make sure it fits me and everything like that. So I still have a fair bit to go, and I really don't have a lot of time. At some point I need to edit a video for you guys so that you can see me do all of these things that I'm doing, but the Goblin Ball is next week, so I don't know what I'm gonna do. Being sick the other week really set me back, and then the holiday as well. Yeah, it's a struggle of like, I know I've been very absent from YouTube, but I don't know what to do because I really want to get this project done, and so it's like video or costume completed. Those are my options, I think, at the moment. Anyway, that being said, I better get started because, as I said, I've got so much to do and very little time. Well, this is the costume so far. I still have a bit to go. I need to hem up the skirt. I need to try on my wings and make some slits if I can into the robe so that I can wear the wings without having them sit over the top of this. I do want to do some more embellishment around here because it does sit up a bit, and I'm thinking of doing something more to this. And if I get time, I'd like to still put some embellishments onto the robe as well. But I figure I'll finish the video here because I have a lot to go, and I am not going to get it all done if I keep filming, and also I'm not going to have a video for you guys. So I'll stop it right here, but hopefully I'll be able to show you the finished product soon enough. And if any of you are going to the Goblin Ball, you'll see it there. So fingers crossed I can do all those things before next week because it's a lot. You know, it usually takes me a full day at least to edit a video. Sometimes 2 or 3 days to edit a video, depending on how much footage I have. So it may be that I'm going to have a really cut down video for you this time, just so I can finish it all. How I feel about the costume. There's still some fit issues, which I guess, look, honestly, it's been true of most of my costumes. There's been parts that don't fit as well. You know, I've done some things to get around it, like this part here that didn't quite fit down my waist and towards my hips. Like I have a short, because I'm shorter, I have a short torso as well, so it's kind of going out into my hips as well. So I did the lace up here. The skirt could possibly be a bit tighter, so I may look at just adjusting where I have my hook and eye closer just so it sits up a little higher, because I think that'll look a bit better for here, because you know, you can see that. I am wearing a singlet top underneath just to not be so embellish, and I found this singlet top when we were on holiday, and I just think it goes with the costume so nicely. The colours are just really nice. So there's that. You know, I'm actually starting to enjoy this costume, even though it isn't perfect, but obviously I have a lot to learn about fit of costumes, so I can't really expect it to be perfect. I think I'd love for someone to come and show me how I can adjust costumes, because it's something that I still don't know really how to do, and I'm just muddling through really without any clear knowledge of what I'm doing. But the fact that it even looks like a costume, you know, I'm pretty happy with that. So I'll probably film a little bit of the rest of what I'm going to do to the costume, or at very least I'll have a final reveal, which may be on the night of the Goblin Ball, I'm not sure. But either way, you guys will get to see the finished product of this costume. So make sure you do hit subscribe if you want to see where all of that goes and you want to see the Goblin Ball and anything else that's coming. Hopefully I'm going to be a little bit more consistent with filming for the next while. We shall see. But yeah, hopefully you stick around and see where this is going, and hopefully it goes well. So anyway, I'll leave it at that, and I'll see you all next time in Faewood. Bye guys.